On Jennifer's Tigers, written by Adrian Rich. It just has 12 lines, but they are all very excellent lines. The first four lines, it just talks about Aunt Jennifer embroidering or doing some tapestry work on a piece of cloth. It just talks about the tigers moving freely, unafraid, very courageous, very courteous, very humble, and they're not afraid of anybody. Let us read those first four lines. Aunt Jennifer's tigers prance across the screen, bright topaz denizens of a world of green. They do not fear the men beneath the tree, they pace in sleek, chivalric certainty. How great these tigers are, the national animal of India. They are not sitting down anywhere, they don't sleep, they don't stand. See those two words, prance and pace. Excellent words as such. Prance and pace. They are always on the move. They just jump here and there. Prancing, a common word. You might have come across when small kittens jump here and there, right? The young ones of the dog, they just jump here and there. Aunt Jennifer's tigers are always on the move, but they are not live tigers. They are embroidered ones on a screen, on a piece of cloth, tapestry work. Towards the end of the poem, we come across another word, panel. But how do these tigers look like? They're very bright. They're yellow in color, topaz. They're denizens, the natives of a world of green, that is a forest. They do not fear the men beneath the tree. They're unafraid. They pace, they move, they walk, they run in sleek, chivalric certainty. They're very certain, they're very clear, they're very focused, they know what they have to do. Sleek is a word which we use for the physical appearance. Like very slender but very strong and sturdy. Chivalric, courteous, courageous. From these four lines, we clearly understand that Aunt Jennifer's tigers are bright yellow in color. They are natives of the forest. There are men sitting under the tree, but they are not afraid of them. They just move around. They pace as majestic animals. But unfortunately, they are not live animals. They are all embroidered ones on a piece of cloth. How beautifully Aunt Jennifer has done that piece of art. It is quite excellent. She just imagined a lot about the tigers. Maybe when we read it, we understand, oh, Aunt Jennifer has excellent artistic taste. She does something great in her work. But when we read the next four lines, we feel very sad for her because we come to understand why Aunt Jennifer had been embroidering all these things all these days. Whenever she sits down, Aunt Jennifer's fingers flutters through her wool. They are just a bit terrified. They shiver a lot, they flutter a lot. She finds it very difficult even to pull the simple ivory needle. Why? The next two lines state the reason. She is alone at home, nobody is there, maybe uncle has gone to work. Still, whenever she sits down there to do some tapestry work or embroidery work or some artwork, her fingers flutter, they shiver, they flutter like the wings of a bird. The fingers find it terribly difficult even to pull the needle to make that beautiful work of art. Why? The massive weight of Uncle's wedding band sits heavily upon Aunt Jennifer's hand. This is the clear reason. The massive weight of Uncle's wedding band, the band here stands for the wedding ring. These two lines clearly tell right from the time Uncle kept the ring on her finger, the life was gone. It is not a very heavy weight physically, the massive weight, but metaphorically, it is very heavy. It talks about the burdened life which has started for Aunt Jennifer right from the day of her marriage life. The massive weight, the metaphorical weight, the huge weight, the burden, the problems, the troubles, the difficulties, the suppressions she has to face in her married life sits heavily upon Aunt Jennifer's hand. It is a highly burdensome one for her. It is so heavy, a massive weight sits on her. It is a mental stress, a psychological stress for Aunt Jennifer. Now we can go back to the first four lines. We can understand how Aunt Jennifer really wanted to be in her life. She wanted to be like those tigers. It was a dream. It was a dream to be free. It was a dream to do excellent things in her life. It was a dream to put out all her latent talents. It was a dream to be unafraid. It was a dream to move about freely. It was a dream to be courageous. It was a dream to be chivalric. But unfortunately, all her dreams shattered right at the moment she got married to her husband. The weight of her married life pulled her down completely, and she was unable to do anything after that. She resigned to her fate. She accepted that is her life, and she was unable to come out of it under any circumstances. It was a terrible thing for her. How terrible it was! When Aunt is dead, her terrified hands will lie, still ringed with the ordeals she was mastered by. The tigers in the panel that she made will go on prancing, proud and unafraid. How terrible it is when Aunt is dead. Even after her death, her terrified hands will lie. Normally, the jewelry is removed. See the picture there? The imprint of the wedding band. Here we are not interested in the physical imprint. The imprint talks about the sufferings she underwent in her married life. When Aunt is dead, her terrified hands will lie. Earlier we saw Phineas fluttering. Now it is terrified hands. It's not the hands that were terrified. It was her whole physical body. She was mentally tortured, suppressed completely, maybe beaten. She was unable to do anything. To what extent? See the next line. Still ringed with ordeals, she was mastered by. So she was like a slave in her own family. Ringed. We know a boxing ring. It's a very small space. Right? It's a very small space over there. The ring is circular in shape. You are unable to do anything. You are bounded within a small area. Still ringed. Still it shows the sufferings she underwent. With the ordeals, she was mastered by the ordeals, the sufferings, the difficulties, whatever word you want to use, you can use. She was mastered by it. It is a clear indication that she was a slave. She was unable to think anything on her own, do anything on her own, act anything on her own. And Jennifer suffered like anything in her marriage. But the tigers in the panel, the first stanza we saw screen, that she made will go on prancing, proud and unafraid. But what about the tigers she had made? There's nobody to stop them. Nobody is to put a barrier to them. Nobody is to trouble them. They'll be going on prancing, jumping here and there, feeling very joyful, very proud, and they're all unafraid. The contrasting things Adrienne Rich brings about here is very clear. The real life Aunt Jennifer wanted to lead, unfortunately, exactly the opposite had happened. And Adrienne Rich brings about this contrast in a very beautiful and an excellent way by contrasting her real life with her imaginary and the dream life of being like tigers. A very beautiful one, an excellent poem that talks about the women's suffering in married life. All right, now we need to see Adrian Rich uses two excellent images in the poem. One is the ring, another one is the tiger, or as the poem says, the band, B-A-N-D. What does this band stand for? It stands for the burden, it stands for the ordeals, it stands for the limited life. We saw the word ringed, limited life. Enslaved, she was a slave. We saw mastered by oppression, the fear she was having in her mind all the time, and she was terribly weak, physically and mentally. Physically, we saw her. Even she was unable to pull the simple ivory needle to make that embroidering work. She was very weak, even mentally. She was unable to oppose or stand for her rights as a wife in her own family. What about the image of the tiger? The tiger stands for courage. It is unafraid. It's prancing, it is moving around, it is joyful. It is very sleek. The physical appearance looks extraordinarily stunning. It is very strong. It is yellow, topaz, chivalric, courageous, courteous, modest, and above all, it is free. Exactly how Aunt Jennifer wanted to be in her life. But unfortunately, how she was, you'll see the previous slide, it was a very, very sad married life for her. The band, the wedding band, made her married life completely into a negative thing. She got enslaved. She had only a limited life. She was unable to do anything as such. These are the two very important images that we come across there. Finally, just a small piece of introduction to the poetic devices which are used in this poem. I'll start with the easiest one, the alliteration, which you have been learning from right from lower classes. Alliteration is nothing but in a single line in a poem, minimum two words begin with a similar sound. We have fingers fluttering, prancing, proud. Maybe whenever you read a poem, you can always pick out alliterations very easily. Maybe these two things are a bit new to you. Sometimes you might have studied earlier. Synecdoche, what does it mean? It just means using a part to represent a whole. Terrified hands. Do you think the hands are terrified? How can hands be terrified? Adrian Rich doesn't talk about the hands in general, but she's talking about the whole body. It doesn't have anything to do with the particular hands. We see the whole body of Aunt Jennifer is terrified. This type of representation in poems, we call it synecdoche, terrified hands. Mentally, she is terrified, maybe even spiritually. Physically, she is terrified. She is unable to do anything under any circumstances. Finally, metonymy, representing something with an object. We saw two beautiful images, two symbols used in the poem. One is the band, another one is the tigers. Band represents symbol of marriage, and tigers are symbols of chivalry. They represent, we use an object to represent something bigger than what they really mean. We call it metonymy. Please do remember all these things. Just to sum up, we just saw how beautifully Adrian Rich brings about the contrast in the lives of women before marriage and during marriage, even after marriage. So before marriage, maybe the first four lines clearly state that Aunt Jennifer wanted to be like that. She wanted to be like a tiger, free, unafraid, moving around, prancing, doing excellent things in life. But when she got married, right from the day, the wedding band became a burden to her. She had only a limited life. The married life was not joyful. She was sad. She was weak. She was a slave. She was suppressed completely. Not just in the married life. Adrienne Rich very sadly says, even in her death, we can clearly see the imprint of the sufferings she underwent during her married life. So sorry for Aunt Jennifer, a woman who finally accepted it as a fate that she would not be able to do anything in her life under any circumstances. Some women in married life are like Aunt Jennifer. It's a universal theme. It clearly says and it clearly talks about how women suffer in married life most of the time and they keep it within themselves, maybe for various reasons. Aunt Jennifer is one such character representing women who get suppressed, who have limited life, who live like slaves in married life. Thank you for watching.